Indeed, and in fact, it keeps going tomorrow. So what we'll see is system Jim was just talking about here takes shape getting into the rest of the southeast as we get through the weekend. Now we're going to have a cold front slicing through our low pressure move to the southeast, and it brings us some thunderstorms to places like Jackson, Mississippi. By the way, it hit 85 here yesterday, so we're now on a record stretch of 80-plus days to kick off the year. And did you know that there is a volcano under Jackson? It's actually beneath the Mississippi River, underneath the Mississippi Coliseum, I should say, but don't worry, it's extinct. All right, let's take a look out there at what's going on weather-wise for you. You're going to see those skies erupting tomorrow as we see thunderstorms by afternoon. Now, thunderstorms in the forecast, expecting some possible strong to severe weather here in Jackson. Temperatures today are going to get back into the 80s again. We'll flirt with that tomorrow. Humidity will be on the rise actually as well. Very sort of soupy out there already to start your weekend today, but it gets worse tomorrow. Dew points going up. You will feel much like a late spring, early summer day. So here's a look at the red area for tomorrow. We've got Jackson and Oxford, Tupelo and Meridian, Mississippi, all in the red zone. The potential for strong damaging winds will be the main risk, but there's also the risk for hail, and there's an isolated tornado risk as well. So here's what happens. Same front that Jim was talking about. Now our cold front actually is going to make a move, and we're going to see that sweep through Arkansas, getting into Louisiana, and out ahead of it in the warm sector, we will see thunderstorms firing tomorrow. Lots of warm southerly winds feeding in not just warm air, but also a lot of moisture too. So any of these storms could put down some heavy rain. The thing is, they might be pretty short-lived as the whole thing sort of moves along. So here's what happens for us into Saturday afternoon. Out ahead of the front, there'll be a line of thunderstorms that moves through Mississippi, Alabama, eventually into Georgia by late Saturday night. Some storms hang on, though, a little bit longer into the Carolinas, and that's where the rain could add up. Let's go to Kelly with that flood threat.
The drizzly conditions in the northeast.
It's drizzly, it's misty, there's an east wind. I don't have a whole lot of good to say about your weather today in the northeast. I mean, look at this. We're starting off with low clouds and mist, delays at the airports already here in the northeast. So let's talk about how the rest of your weekend is going to shape up, because Friday's going to be tough. We have delays at JFK already. I'm thinking Philly and New York, LaGuardia are going to follow suit soon. We take a look out here, the rain that's moving into over the area. We do have those pretty light east winds for now. They could get gustier from time to time. Boston, we got 44 degrees for you. It's actually in the 30s up in Maine, a very chilly rain for you this morning. So this does move on through as we get you through about the midday hours. And after lunch, it could just be a few more scattered showers. There is the chance of a thunderstorm actually popping if we get a little daytime heating here once those clouds scour out. So a much different afternoon compared to the morning. Look at Philly. You get up into the low 70s once we kind of break through all that sort of mist and murk that we have out there. D.C., we get to 84 degrees. Very warm, very humid today across the area. Now, as we see rain still yet to come, it's going to be overall fairly light. If you get under a thunderstorm, you could get a little bit more. And yes, it is 33 degrees. You have the chance for snow up in Caribou.
Global warming, is it worth it? A New York Times article poses the question this week. Let's talk about it with Dr. Emmanuel DeLorenzo. He's the professor of ocean and climate dynamics at Georgia Tech. Professor, thanks for talking to us this morning. According to the article, scientists are investigating whether releasing a chemical compound in the air could actually reduce the effects of the warming. Yeah, I don't think you can hear us, unfortunately. I can tell by the pause.
It's a really interesting topic, because the first question in my mind is it even possible? Is it worth considering?
I mean, you know, we've tried to play with weather before and try and control the weather. And you know, I guess the big question is, you know, what you do, does it make things worse? I mean, is there an offshoot?
Does it have other complications?
Right, does it have other complications down the road? So
yes.
That's the big question. But some interesting ideas in this.
Yeah.
All right, Kel.